Welcome, everybody, to episode 90 of UnHacked. Pop quiz. There are two problems with our introduction. What are they? Somebody, go fast. Bueller.
I see a spinning wheel.
No, what are you talking about? Then there's three problems. What are the other two? Anybody? Nobody. Sentence is still spelled wrong.
At this point, I think it's spelled fine. Just keep it. Yeah.
I'm in so much trouble over this. Oh my God, we have several.
Upload.
Well, there's so many problems today, and Riverside. I guess I shouldn't bash them online. Maybe they'll sue me. But oh my God, they did an update and it's been problematic. And then Brian and Mario, you guys had some updates or something going on. So it's like we're 26 minutes into the episode and we haven't even started yet.
Now I know how my clients feel every time they say, "Oh, the updates. Why you guys got to do that in the middle of the day?"
It's true. It's true.
We don't. By the way.
I couldn't find the link, so it's like, wow, here's the guy that can't find the link.
I know. It's and then you guys missed the most important problem with the introduction. As I said, episode 90. Today's actually episode 89. But Mario kind of floated the idea of just skipping an episode to see if anybody noticed, and you guys didn't even notice. So I know that the audience didn't notice. This is episode 3/4 in our mini series on AI. The initial plan was to do 4 episodes on AI, basic setup, prompting, and whatever, and then we would move into integrations, and then we would move into app dev.
But see, we used AI to cut 25% of our episodes. So now
that's exactly right.
We're going much faster.
We got so damn efficient, we just couldn't even do it in 4. We have to do it in 3. So that's the big spoiler, I guess, for today. The 4 part has moved to a 3 sub part because we've got a mini. I don't know, guys. Let's get started here. Let's do introductions. I'm Justin Shelley, CEO of Phoenix IT Advisors, and a little bit of a twist today. Not my normal introduction. We've been talking about frameworks. I've been obsessed with frameworks for a very long time in the world of technology, like approximately a year. I don't know. We had a guest on here a while back who talked about frameworks and how important they are to cybersecurity, and I've not let go of that since. Today, we're actually going to move to putting frameworks around AI, and that's it. That's all I'm going to say for that. We're going to finish the introductions. Josh, you went first last time, so not happening today. Just chill. Brian, you go first, Mario, and then Josh, you're in the penalty box. You go last.
All right. I'll try and bring the heat.
Okay, thank you. Brian, you're up.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking to Josh. Yes,
now,
Brian Latchfro with B4 Networks. He threw me off with located in beautiful Ontario, Canada. Yeah, that's all I got.
See, that's the thing. I've got mine memorized. I say the same thing every time, so I throw mine off, and it just screws you guys all up. Mario, bring it. Do something. Gosh. Do something amazing on your introduction.
Yeah, Mario Zaki, CEO of Mastech IT, located in New Jersey. We are a master in cybersecurity, a master in AI, and mastering in podcasts.
And weirdly enough, the former name of my company was Master Computing, but you claimed that word more than I did. Josh, what do you got for us?
Way more, yeah. All right, for me, I'm Josh Holloway. I'm the CEO for 7th EI Technologies out of sunny El Dorado Hills, California, and also an office in Reno. Our primary for IT is working with companies that require compliance and how to make technology work within those guardrails when technology typically doesn't want to.
So you like frameworks too?
Framework.
Josh, I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit. What in the hell does 7th DI? Like, there's got to be a little background. I looked for, and I'm going to throw you under the bus. I looked on your website for your company name story, and it's not there. And to be fair, neither's mine, but go ahead.
No, it's all good. So the original company's name was 7th Dimension, and the idea behind that was attacking business problems dimensionally, right? So not just looking at technology and being a nerd and talking to technology and saying, hey, here's the tech that you need. It was more about dimensionally looking at the business, the problem, its issues, the people, the age of the staff, everything, and coming at it from different, degrees of how do we integrate technology with an older staff that can't necessarily handle the change, or maybe they're change adverse, or how do we take the policies, the procedures, and everything that goes into it to kind of make technology wrap around it? Because at the end of the day, the technology needs to work, and if it doesn't work or if it doesn't help, we get no buy-in. And then what happens? People go back to the same old Excel spreadsheets, the same old manual processes, and then they can just continue to hate IT. This way, we hopefully bring about that desire to not hate IT as much, and see them as a partner that's working alongside them to improve their technology, improve their business processes, and dimensionally is how we're answering it. We're not just saying, and here's your technology, use it. It's more like, how do we wrap it all around an entire business? And a business is not it's not flat at all. So there's a lot of dimensions to it. So there you go.
That that works. And the key, my key takeaway, Josh, was hate IT less.
Yes. Well, I mean, who likes IT? They're only calling IT because they're pissed things aren't working, right? I've been doing this for 27 years, and I think I've had 2 or 3 people call me in 27 years to say, hey, everything's working.
Thank you.
And that's awesome. Yeah. And actually, no, today was the 4th. I sat in a meeting today right before coming here, and the guy's like, since we moved to you, we've had one outage in an entire year when we were having outages every other day prior. And he's like, that's amazing. And we were just sitting in a meeting, and I wasn't expecting that. You know, you kind of go into that, and I mean, he popped off with that one. I was like, cool. I'm gonna put that feather in my cap and move on.
I could take this way off track and ask, how in the actual hell were they having an outage every other day? I've never seen that in my 35,000 years in IT, but
I mean, I can go into it if you want.
No, I'm just saying, like, that's rough. That's rough. That used to be kind of a sales pitch for managed services, right? It's like, hey, we're going to prevent your downtime. And now I tell people that, and they're like, we don't have any. Everything's cloud app, web app, whatever. So that's just takes me back. And I'm an old man.
And now
so
we're vibe coding.
Yeah, now we're vibe coding. So guys, let's go ahead and jump in. We've done 2 episodes already on AI, and we kind of started with picking your favorite platform and setting it up securely. And then we were supposed to, the second week, come back and give actual use cases of here's what you can do to improve your productivity. There's been a little bit of bleed back and forth, overlap, whatever. And, as I'm planning the next supposed 2 episodes where we're going to be just building on this same concept, like I said in the introduction, it just wasn't coming together for me. And maybe it's because I'm like bored to death because I've been doing that for so long. And I hope listening audience, if that's not true and you want more of a development on this, you're in luck, because any of us will sit and talk through this with you, like one-on-one. Just reach out. You've got all of our links in the show notes and stuff. So we'll walk you through that one-on-one if you want. But meanwhile, we're going to kind of push this thing forward, wrap up the basic platform, and then next week we're going to come back and we're going to hit hard with integrations, because that is the world that I'm living in right now. Everything I do, I'm like setting up a new damn integration. It's a pain in the ass, but once you get it, this thing will just it just sings. Yeah. Anyways, Josh, you are the one who introduced this concept of frameworks around AI. I love the word. You're a compliance guy as well. Talk to us about how do you put a framework on AI prompting? No, I'm not talking about security, right? Usually frameworks are security. This is AI prompting. So take it away.
So with AI prompting, you have a set structure to it, and you have to think before, like, what do you want your interaction to be like? What is the output, and what is your overall outcome? So one framework you can think of is a PTCF, right? So let's break that down. P for persona. I want you to act like a lawyer with 25 years of expertise in corporate, legal. Then you're saying, I'm going to give you a task. I want you to review this contract, and I want to look for all of the exclusions, any gotchas, or language that would leave me and my business out to dry if I don't follow certain criteria, right? And then it's the context, right? What's the background? What's the constraints? What's the audience of relevant data, right? So I'll probably tell it that I'm an MSP, been open for 28 years. This is what our core focus is, and we're looking to do business with company XYZ. So when you analyze this contract, this is what this is what we're looking for, or this what could affect us. I may even share additional information with it, like a copy of a cyber liability policy or other insurance policies that I have. And then last is format or a structure. Do I want a summary, some kind of widget or dashboard or something out of it. I know previously last week I talked about doing ask it a simple question like, what can AI do for me in my job role? What's the top 10 things it can do? I'm giving it no context. I'm just saying, what's the 10 things that you can do for my business, right? It's going to be very broad, and it's going to say AI can do X, Y, and Z for you. So what we did is we came up following these frameworks with a prompt that says, here's your persona. I'm a wealth management operator, and here's my daily tasks, my weekly tasks, my quarterly tasks. This is what my day-to-day looks like, and here's my entire job role. How can AI help me claw back hours in a week, hours in a day, hours in a month? And it will fully list it out because I gave it context. I gave it a framework to work inside of, and I gave it ideas. I gave it a structure or a persona, and I just let it run. So I feel like that's kind of a good way to attack it.
To be fair, we talked about that when we talked about setting up the platform. I believe in Claude, we've mentioned it's called projects. In ChatGPT, it's called a custom GPT, where you go in and you give it context. And what you just described was just a structured way of doing that.
Yeah, structured prompt. You don't have to build a GPT. This is a structured prompt. You can copy and hold on to it because you might run it, 15, 20 times or come up with a more fancier way of holding on to it. But it's just a structured prompt or how you prompt. I think a lot of people who are using ChatGPT as Google, they are Googling their prompts. They're saying, like, what's the capital of, Illinois? Or, what's the population of India? Things like that, right? So they're not realizing that they can do a lot more with it by giving it more context, more framework, or more guidance.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it comes back to what we were talking about last week. It's, it's what you put in is what you're also going to get out. You ask it a question, you're going to get an answer, and that's it. And you're both going to move on with your day. If you interact with it, treat it as like a person pretty much, and have a conversation either through text or through verbal, you'll get more interaction back.
Yep.
Brian, you got any thoughts on this?
No, it's pretty much the framework that I use on a pretty regular basis. I always tell the GPT or Claude, this is who you are, this is what you do, this is how I want you to do it, this is the ground rules, and it's almost exactly that framework. I probably slightly modify it in some cases, but it's usually spot on, exactly what Josh was saying.
Okay. And I know we've talked about you don't do anything live, right? Especially with AI demonstrations, but guys, I'm breaking rules today just because I'm feeling a little punchy. Josh, I want you to, if you're up for the task, and we can sit here and shoot the shit while you're, prepping or whatever. Just raise your hand when you're ready to go. But I want you to just give an actual live example. I know you described it, but I want you to do it. Pull up your favorite platform, LLM, put in a generic prompt, read the prompt, read the output, put in your frameworked prompt, read the prompt, read the output. When you're ready to do that,
you guys
ready
talk
now?
amongst yourself.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'll give you time. I can sit here and just talk about shit. I don't know. What should we talk about, guys? Listen, we're gonna. What I want to talk to you, Mario and Brian, about is: do you use this concept in setting up like your custom GPT or your project or whatever, or do you use it just in a live prompting session, a chat session? And Brian, you're nodding, so yeah, go for it.
Yeah. So funny enough, I just brought up my custom GPT that I created, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago for building a quarterly key initiative. And in that prompt, or in that settings, in the instructions, I actually have, AI personality definition. You are a strategic execution coach, planning and architecting, and trained in performance operations. You combine empathy with implementation. Anyway, it goes on and it talks about who it is. And then the very next prompt is tone and behavior. And then it jumps into quarterly key initiative workflow and scope. So it tells it how it's going to do what it's going to do. So essentially what I'm looking for. My prompt is, or this instruction set is massive because I've got a lot of constraints that I was trying to make sure that people wouldn't try to bypass things. I'm happy to bring it up or share the initial instruction set with you to post for the audience on our UnHacked page. But essentially, I'm following almost exactly that same framework on a custom version of a prompt. Now, the difference between, if you remember from last week, between what Josh was saying is a prompt that you enter in a new chat and a custom GPT is I don't have to tell the custom GPT each time what it is. I just open it up and it already knows who it is, what its purpose is, what it's going to do. And I just have to give it the first set of instructions like, hey, I'm ready. And then it'll go through whatever process I've told it, right? So that's the difference between having a custom GPT and having to remember to prompt it each and every time, is that you're essentially recycling that information, that prompt over and over and over again.
And I'll say, and Mario, you're up next, so start prepping. I'm going to tell myself a little bit because I customize I hate in the prompt itself. I just want to talk. I don't want to give it a bunch of instructions, and I set that all up ahead of time. But I'm building today's outline, and like I said, I've kind of been grappling with: do we do this in 2? Do we do it in 1? And now I'm looking at the clock. I'm like, God, maybe we're done already. I don't know. I'm ready to move on to integrations. Anyways, I got into the argument with I'm using Claude. We duked it out, and finally ended up with we're just going to combine this into 1. And I'm like, great, give me the bullet point outline, not outlet, and it comes up with this just like unformatted whatever, and I'm like, guys, for 80 whatever episodes, or I don't know how many I've been preparing outlines with AI, it's quite a what the hell? Joshua Holloway's recording has stopped. Josh, did you leave us? I guess I pissed him off by giving him assignment. Anyways,
something with Riverside.
I know they did an I'm telling you, they did an update and it caused problems. Anyways, I can hear you, but you got no video. But that's okay. Screw around with that for a little bit. I'm going to keep telling this story. Okay. I don't know. That's weird. That threw me a little bit. Anyway, so I realized that for dozens and dozens of episodes, I've been having ChatGPT or Claude, depending on the day, create an outline that's formatted however the hell it wants to format it that day, whatever mood AI is in. And then I take and I copy and paste it into my standardized outline. I'm like, this is the dumbest shit. I'm doing a 12/11 episode series on how to use AI, and I'm still using it wrong. So I grabbed my outline that I even have a template for, and I threw it in and I said, hey, can you just format it like this? Which it did perfectly. So, and I had everything else set up. I had all the context and everything else so that I don't have to really worry about how I prompted. I just chat with it, but I had missed that one piece, and here again, we're talking like probably 15, 20 minutes worth of work that I've been putting in every single week that I just did away with by importing a template. It's stupid. Mario, what are your thoughts on this? What are your lessons learned or whatever?
I mean, the one thing, even for me personally, I'm going to guess it's the same thing with you guys is, and it gets frustrating. There's so much different things not only can you do with AI, but there's so many different types of AIs. You have to use the right tool when you're trying to get a different result. If you're trying to generate, images, there's a special tool for that, or a special AI for that. There's when you're trying to get, put together, an outline, you use, one thing. Even when you're trying to do like an automated like phone system, you use a different prompt. They specialize in different things, and it gets frustrating keeping up with it. And for me, I every day I'm learning about a different tool and different system, and sometimes it's hard to keep up.
Yeah. Well, because it changes. Like you get it all set up, and then all of a sudden, your great friend from Canada comes up and says, "Hey, there's a new tool you should be using," and it's just like every goddamn thing changed. This whole week, I've been setting up. That's why we're going to move to integrations. It's like all week long, I've been setting up new integrations because Brian couldn't just shut up and let me do it the hard way. He's got to say, "Hey, there's this new thing." I'm like, oh god. So
I don't even think it's new. It's just new to me. It's just like, hey,
right, new to you, new to me, new to whatever. It cost me a full week of reworking how I do vibe coding, which we're not to yet. So that's good. That's the good news.
I mean, Justin, I'm not gonna lie to you. I signed up with hats like you were talking about in previous episodes. It took me a few minutes just to realize where to go, just to get started. You know, it's a little
There's a
hidden
lot
with
in
a
there.
couple.
There's
Yeah,
a lot in there, and everybody used different naming conventions. So what they call an agent, somebody else calls something completely different, and they've got agents, workflows, and apps. And I spent like a day trying to figure out the difference between an app and an agent. I don't know, whatever. Basically, an app is kind of like a project or this framework we're using right now, where you just go in and you tell it how to behave. I don't know. See, right now I don't even know. Damn it, Josh, are you back yet? Josh, could you even hear
He's
us anymore?
muted.
He's muted. He's got
muted.
no camera. I'm gonna unmute him.
I think we broke him.
No, I'm not. He can't be unmuted. Well, I guess we're gonna have to go on without Josh. That sucks. Yeah, hat. So, what do you think? You're a fan of hats or not so much, Mario?
I haven't really gotten a chance to use that. I mean, maybe one day I mean, I can figure it out and I could ask it how to use it, but I do want to see.
Not one of its strong points. I'll tell you that. I keep asking hats how to use hats. It is not one of its strong points. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah. So maybe I'll have you, because the other day when you shared your screen, I was just like, oh wow, this is pretty cool the way you have this set up. So
Yeah.
I may want you to kind of be the teacher,
I'm
and I'll
happy
be the
to
student.
do so. You know what?
Yeah.
We've got a unplanned break here. Why don't we just do it? I'm going to pull up hats, and I'm going to kind of walk. Sorry, I cannot multitask to save my life. All right, now let's go back.
I mean, I have to admit, I just asked it, are you able to spin up sub-agents? And it's been generating for like 3-4 minutes. I'm actually pretty surprised how slow it is.
Hats has been?
I mean, right now, it's just says generating. I don't know what it's doing.
It's generating.
Yeah, like give it
Hello.
give it a minute. It's gonna let you know here in a bit. I'm gonna show you real quick. I'm just gonna show you a couple of my favorite things on hats. Let me get my screen shared. And guys, if you're not watching on YouTube, you probably should be, because I don't really know how to.
And for our viewing audience or listening audience, hats is just uses the same agents that Claude and other places use, but they do it in a secure manner. You're able to manage your employees, so that way you're aware of what they're working on, or I don't know if you're aware of what they're working on, but you could at least control who has access. You have them use this because where it's been. It's not going to leak any sensitive information. It does have a filter, knowing that if you put in a social security number, it's not going to be released in the wild.
It's not going out. This is a contained environment. That is my favorite, hands down. Excuse me, hands down, my favorite feature. That said, let's just look. I'm going to pull up a basic chat here, and first of all, you can select from all these tools. It's just like I'm not going to try to go over them, but everything, Microsoft 365. Now, most of the platforms are going to do some version of this. You have integrations all over the place. We're going to come back to that.
Wait, I didn't even see where you got to that. Where did you click on that?
Tools down here in the chat.
Tools. Okay.
But really what I love is you can use all of the different LLMs. So you can set it to auto, which I really love. That's their newest feature that is just phenomenal, because it'll choose which one is best for whatever you're doing. But if you go in here to all of their different there's just, I wish I knew the number, but there is a ton of different LLMs you can choose from. So, anyways, what else was
the auto is pretty good, because if you're trying to, I mean, on here, there's a button that says generate image generation.
Yeah.
But if you have it automatically pick, I'm sure it's going to pick the best one to generate.
Yeah, because you can't do it in Claude. Like Claude doesn't do image generation. So, yeah. Anyways, so you've got all the LLMs. That's one thing that I really love. But what I also like is you can build. It's like flow charts. I'm trying to see if I've got a good one, a workflow. I don't know. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but it's just this whole environment where you can pull in all the LLMs. You can create your projects, your custom GPTs, as it were, and then you can trigger things from not workspace, workshops. You create workflows, and then you can use webhooks. So you can have some other thing trigger this AI workflow. You just do it like I said, add new step. There we go. Prompt step. You can add a web scraper step. I don't know. Document processing. You can just have it do one thing and then another thing and then another thing. And within each step, you can change the LLM. So I wanted to use Claude here, and then down here, I wanted to go switch to something else. To go view all, and let's just pick GPT. We switched to GPT. I don't know. This thing, and the frustrating, the good and bad about it is the more like every day there's something new and different about it. And it's just like, integrations. That is the other thing I was blanking on what else I wanted to show. Their integrations page, it just keeps getting longer and longer and longer. Whatever. Let's see. Josh, we're going to have to live try to troubleshoot Josh. Maybe we'll cut this out. Maybe we won't. Josh wants to join. We're going to let him in. Josh, are you back? Holy hell, that was rough. Like I'm trying to eat
I
time
actually
up,
think I see you sweating. What happened?
Wow. I don't think I've ever had like a hardware crash like that in a long time.
Well, the good news is,
Josh, you need an IT guy?
Hey,
needs
you
an
know
IT
what?
guy.
Thank God
A
I
joke
am an
that's
IT
never been
guy, 'cause I
told.
got that fixed.
and Josh, you didn't miss anything. I did not do a great job. I tried to demonstrate hats, and I was all over the place.
No, you did. It was pretty good. The one thing I do want to also add on to what you were mentioning, which is a very good point, is you said you can change the LLM, and for people
within the workflow.
Yeah. And for newbies that may not be familiar with it, the reason you may want to do that is, again, for a couple of reasons. Certain agents are better than others for certain things, but also certain agents are a lot more expensive than other agents. So sometimes if you're doing something trivial or something that is just minimal thinking, you may want to use a cheaper LLM to save on tokens, because none of these AI services are giving anything unlimited. Even, and correct me if I'm wrong, even ChatGPT and even like those $20 plans, like you guys are you limit even if you're just having chats and stuff like that.
I never run out with $20 a month on ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Unless you're coding or something, then I will. But like if you're just chatting, I chat all day, every day. It gets embarrassing how much I use it, and I haven't run out. So, but you're right. I mean, and image if you're doing a lot of that. But I will say, Mario, with the number of LLMs you can choose from, if you don't know which one does what, that doesn't really help much. So I love that they put in the auto feature where it will automatically. By the way, chat will do this. You can set it up to auto select its own. With its limited number of models. You can have it automatically switch back and forth. Within hats, you can have it switch with all of the models of all of the platforms. So it's crazy. Josh, let's go ahead and see if your technology is going to keep up. And do you remember your assignment after all that?
Oh, yeah, because it started going real crazy when I started prompting it. So, yes, I remember my assignment.
Oh, it took over. That's the problem. Okay. Good. Tell us what you got. And share your screen if you want. If you can just talk through it, read through it, that's fine too.
Yeah, so I don't think I can necessarily share my screen because of where I've been prompting, but what I can go with is I went with a very simple prompt. I want to write an incident response playbook in the theme of cybersecurity for business email compromise, right? Kept it really simple. That's all I told it. I hit go. The first thing I ran into is it asked me 3 questions to define, like, is it a reusable client template? What service are you using? Is it Google? Is it Microsoft 360? And then do you want it like a branded doc or anything like that? That was its initial take. Then it went into like, what colors do you want to use? What are the fonts you want to use? So it really started diving into a lot of questions on how to get this done. pretty much started asking me, do I want a cover page? Do I want this? Do I want that? And then
Josh,
after
I
a
want to
while,
interrupt you.
Yeah.
I'm assuming in your settings you have it already set to say, ask me any questions you may need to give me the best results. You already have that in place, or
for
because a lot of times
for
it'll just
ChatGPT I do. For Claude I don't. Claude I kind of left
Mm.
it kind of I don't want to say basic, but I turned
And that's
that
what you were
feature
using
off.
now?
And I was using Claude in this one.
okay.
Okay.
So
I've got a key point. I want you to keep going, but yeah, Mario, that's a question I had, and I've got something to say about it, but keep going, Josh.
So it did give me a playbook back, pretty basic, pretty generic, right? I didn't give it any context, and I didn't follow any of the framework.
Okay.
When my computer really started going kind of crazy, this is how I framed my prompt. You are an expert in cybersecurity with a CISSP and 25 years of experience. I want you to build an incident response playbook for a business email compromise. This will be used by IT and management staff to follow during this type of compromise. I need it to be in an outline format so that it can be followed with a lot of reference points, because people will be using this during a high anxiety time, and the output will be in Word so that we can update it in the future.
Yeah.
It did not ask me any questions. It just went to work. And I ended up
with a crashed computer.
Yeah, with a crashed computer. Yay me.
Don't think the two are correlated.
Yeah, no, that was a fun one. But here, if we want, let me see if I can share this out for you guys to kind of see what the framework look like. And we'll take it from there.
Are you sharing it?
Not yet. Hold on one second. Here we go.
Okay.
And share.
There we go. Okay. I didn't know if you froze up. I didn't know if I missed something. I was just like, okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, and of course, it's sharing the wrong thing. I love it. So that's on me. Wow. It's a fun one.
I'm just leaving dead air on purpose so that everybody gets really uncomfortable.
Right.
I'm just gonna.
Why is it? This is a tangent. Why is it that humans are so uncomfortable with dead air, with quiet? All right.
Okay,
it's
so
definitely
here
a strategy
is our
to use.
framework-based prompt. This is what it came out with. Gave its own title.
Just off the top, Josh, how many pages was the first one?
The first one was 12 pages. This one is surprisingly
so it's
24. Doubled in size.
Okay.
It makes it more of like a policy flow. So there's going to be acceptance, who's the owner, everything else, how to use this document, a table of contents. So it actually took the time to go through, and it gave us appendix, processes, internal responses, everything that would typically be found in an incident response playbook.
Nice.
Now, pretty thorough one. I can share it with you guys if you want to use it. You can thank Claude for it.
Shit. I'll just build my own, bitch.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to come back to the question Mario asked, and the point I wanted to make about that is because Mario's like, wait a minute, did you already set some of this up? Because it seemed like it was following instructions by what you described. And that is the point that I want to make. When I first started getting into AI, it was super important to structure your prompts a certain way.
Yeah.
And now it is still important to give it context, but the structure of your prompting, the language, and even this framework that we're talking about, I feel, you guys tell me if I'm wrong, I feel it's becoming less important.
It's because it's getting smarter, and I think it like if you're using the paid version, it's learning you.
Absolutely.
Like,
yes.
Yeah.
But that is my point, though, is as it becomes smarter, as it learns more about us, it auto customizes. And so it is still important to give it the right context. And the example, as I kind of threw myself under the bus, like it was doing a great job of giving me the information I wanted, but I'm like, no, I want it formatted like I'm normally seeing it every week. I want it to look the same. Including my typical sign off, like, I'm Justin, remember, listen and take action and keep your business unhacked. Shit that I say. Unhacked. But like, It just bugged me that wasn't at the end of the outline that it gave me. So I give it the template and it throws it in. So now I won't forget what I said. That's the good news.
Now you got to update your template to include all of our sign-offs.
Well, you guys don't have a standard sign-off.
Yeah, we do.
You do? Well, then put it in there.
Well, we just all say unhacked at the wrong time.
No, we need like a timer or a bell. Anyways, okay. So, listen, we have already made. I feel like this is kind of a rambling episode, and I'm apologizing in advance. We're going to get way more engaged next week, and maybe it'll get too engaged. I don't know. But guys, do you have any final thoughts on this? Anything else that we need to cover on prompting and just basic pre-integration AI use? Anybody?
Well, what I would, my takeaway would be this: if you're going to be asking AI for anything, even if you're not sure, let it know what you're doing and ask it for the best prompt that you can use that will give those 4 steps, and then it will generate a prompt, and then you can correct places where it went wrong, and then reprompt it with that same prompt. That's been my go-to if I'm, like, what would be the best way of asking this question? Because if you ask it, it won't try to optimize itself with the instructions you gave it. But if you say, I don't know how to ask this properly, can you help me draft the best prompt I can to accomplish this? It will then give you a prompt that if you feed it back, you'll get a totally different result than if you just fed the initial question. So it's pretty fascinating. It knows itself enough to give you a better prompt to get a better result.
Use AI to use AI. Yeah. I mean, it's the truth.
Yeah.
Well, I think the other thing too, and Justin, if I'm not mistaken, we're going to share a couple, not just a PTCF framework, but all the other ones so people have access to them. You can even say, I want to use a framework. Maybe I don't quite understand it, but I know I want to get my point across a certain way. Here's the framework I want to use.
Go ahead and dive into that. I wasn't really going to spend a lot of time today on that. I can include it as a download. Yeah, but talk through any of those that you want to bring up.
Yeah, so a couple of the frameworks, you have like TAG, which is task, action, and goal, right? So define the job or activity, describe the goal, and then discuss its purpose, right? So you can say, I want to use the TAG framework to build my prompt. Help me do that. Here's my action, but I'm not certain of my goal, or here's my goal. I don't know where to start with my action, and then like help me build this out. So that would be one of them. Another one would be like BAB, which is going to be before, after, and bridge. I definitely would think this would be a good consumable download so that people can see. I mean, obviously you can Google all the different prompting frameworks and you'll end up with like 1 million of them. But we came across, I think it was 9 in total that we kind of hit on. You have CARE, which is going to be context, action, result, and expectation. For grow, goal, reason, and output. So you're giving it this framework or this expectation that you want to work through, and either you can work with it yourself and build out your prompt that way, or just say like, this is what I want to follow because I feel like this is going to get me a better answer, and this is that framework I want to work inside.
Yeah. Okay. Guys, any thoughts on that? Mario, you got any takeaways?
One thing too that I was going to say is that with AI, it does very well when you give it examples. So like if you have something and you're able to upload it and say, I want to improve on this, or I want to change this, or create my own, it does pretty well. It knows it's because what you've essentially done is put the structure that you guys were just talking about. It's given it the structure. Very similar to like Justin's example. Like, here's the template, stick to this. And I was just looking at it. I think they got rid of it, but there used to be like a thumbs up and a thumbs down on ChatGPT where the results and stuff like that. But I don't know. Either mine just decided it didn't really give a shit anymore what I care about, or they did away with it.
I think it's like, listen, we know you better than you know you, so I don't need your feedback.
Well, it's perfect that you say that, Justin, because one exercise after using any one of these, after a while, you should just ask it, like, what's your perception of me?
Hell no.
It's a good exercise.
I don't want to know.
No,
people, there's a Reddit subreddit, whatever you call it, about ChatGPT, and people love to get on there and say, hey, draw a picture or, make a photo of everything you think you know about me. And like it puts up some weird shit. I'm not doing that. I did it a while back and I'm just like, nope, I don't want to know. It's getting too close to iRobot, guys. This is just weird. Okay, guys, we're gonna kind of wrap this up, unless I've missed something. So I'm just throwing it out again. This has been an episode of Rambling. We're gonna come back with better structure next week. But unless you guys stop me with something important,
reboot all your computers before you start recording.
That's important. Maybe
the
twice.
other thing to add was that we were going to give assignments out every week, and so if I'm correct, the assignment for this week was supposed to be to create your own custom GPT,
right,
or project if you're in Claude. Upload some files, give it a set of instructions, tell it what you want, upload some context files. I'll give you a quick, really brief example of one of the chat GPTs I made really early on. Is I took my entire employee manual, all the policies and procedures for the entire company, uploaded it to a chat custom GPT as additional files, and then told it you're an expert in all of the B4 Networks employee manual and all our policies, and answer any questions our employees have. And so instead of them having to go through every single policy, they can say like, hey, what's B4 Networks' dress code? Boom, there would be the answer. And it was locked down, limited to just that set of documents, so it couldn't go out on the internet like I had configured it to do that. So if it's okay with you, Justin, that would be my challenge to the audience, is go and create yourself a custom GPT that you can upload some files and some instructions to, and see what the capabilities are.
Yeah.
Now,
absolutely.
What do you think would have happened if you don't tell it it's an expert in this? Do you think the results would be different?
Test it, Mario. Like, this is supposed to be what we do today. Right now, I'm not kidding you.
Your challenge.
Go to, I don't know, like, do it while we're on the air. I don't see you. Okay, so challenge denied. Got it. But no, it's what I wonder too, because it used to be, it feels to me like, I don't have evidence of this, but it feels to me like the setup is becoming less important. Maybe the more we use it, maybe the more AI develops, maybe a combination of the two. But as I found out the hard way, that has led me down a path where I got complacent and like I was costing myself time because I didn't take the effort, ahead of time to give it a template, to do a little bit of setup would have saved me, hours of time over the course of prepping for the podcast. So, I'm going to throw out a grievance that I have about AI lately, because it makes it so that we can be more efficient. I mean, that's our big claim, 10 to 50x more efficient. One of the things that drives me batshit crazy is that when I'm chatting with something relatively simple, I can ask it like, what color is the sky? And it doesn't say blue. It writes a goddamn novel about how and why and how sometimes it's not quite blue and it's a little bit of a green, and then the clouds come in and it talks about clouds and why there are clouds and how the clouds form. And it's just like, Jesus Christ, answer the question and shut up. And sometimes I'll have to tell it that, like, just give me a one-word answer. And then it gets butthurt. It's like,
well, it's because you didn't give it a framework to begin with. Say, I would just like a one sentence response.
Right. Yep. Jesus Christ, Josh, God damn it. You're right. So maybe this whole thing I've been saying, these frameworks aren't important. Yeah, I guess
no, but the thing is,
absolutely are.
The thing is, it does also, you also have to take it with a grain of salt, because I think I've actually mentioned this a few months back. My wife, for her birthday, she wanted us to just stay in the house. She wanted fondue. She wanted, instead of going to like Melting Pot, one of her favorite restaurants, she wanted to stay in. She wanted us to do, me and the kids to do all the work. So I left work and I opened up my ChatGPT and I'm like, and I gave it the prompt. I'm like, today's my wife's birthday. She wants me to cook dinner and she wants fondue, and her favorite thing from Melting Pot is the Wisconsin Trio. So give me all the exact ingredients that are there. And I ended up, it's like, okay, great. It's a great cheese, no problem. I'll go ahead and create you a list of all the ingredients you need to do. And I'll also give you the exact things that you need to do to cook or whatever. And, I wasn't thinking about it. I was driving and I got the list. I went inside, the supermarket. I got all the things that it was on this list, and I went home and, I started prepping, and my wife's like, what the hell is this? I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, what? You got all these cheeses. I've never heard of these cheeses. We've done this. We've made this before. Usually you need this, this, and this. She already knew. She didn't even needed to look it up. And the ChatGPT completely gave me wrong recipe. And then when I went back and I said, hey, you gave me the wrong, ingredients for this. And she's like, oh, you're absolutely right. You're good. It's very
catch.
good of you. Yeah, good catch. Like this is the correct. And I'm like, no, you're forgetting this. She's like, oh, another good catch. And it kept, and I'm like, forget it.
The irony is you call ChatGPT she and I call ChatGPT he because it's so stubborn. Gotta be a man.
And it drove me crazy. I ended up, I didn't want to ruin her birthday, so I had to go back and get 3-4 different cheeses and stuff like that. So,
can I add to that story?
Please.
I also have been cooking using ChatGPT, and I had it give me recipes. And so I get home and I'm like, okay, I want to cook this recipe. Give me step-by-step instructions. And it starts giving me the instructions. I'm like, dude, you had me get all these other ingredients. But like, when do we use those? And it says, oh, those don't belong in this recipe. And it's like, then why the heck did you have me buy them?
What?
Yeah, I don't know why. There's times where it just goes on this weird tangent. And it's like, and it just makes you so angry.
That's my hallucination, right? It hallucinated.
So I have spinach in my fridge, and I don't know why I've got spinach in my fridge.
Well, I had it this morning tell me that Nevada is in the Mountain Time Zone, and it's like, no, it's not. Oh, you're right, it's not. My bad.
I think we're giving our audience a lot of confidence in this.
Well, listen, and it's important too because I'm going to bring this a little more serious tone. What we haven't talked about today is security, and this isn't directly security, but we have to be careful not only with what we put into it for fear of that getting stolen or misused in some way, but we have to be super careful about what it gives us back. We can't just accept it as gospel, and that's really hard because we're getting into vibe coding here in a little while. Guys, this thing spits out thousands and thousands and thousands of lines of code that we probably don't understand. And we're going to talk about how to handle that. But man, you can't just let this thing run amok because it will, and it'll crash all our computers, as we learned.
Yep.
Okay, guys, we are going to wrap. We've been going for 47 minutes. That's long enough to wrap up this first segment. I do need to provide an update on the UnHacked portal. I have been working feverishly on this thing. The full reveal, the full release will happen in week whatever it is now. I think 9/8. But I have been making some major updates to that. And in fact, Josh, if you'll give me, you already have the downloadables that you were talking about. The new portal is going to have every episode, and then when you go into it, we can very easily add attachments that people can download. So I'm going to use yours as a guinea pig to test the resources section of today's episode, which is 89, not 90. Hopefully your documents don't have any malicious content to them. Did you check?
No, it's not going to make your computer crash like mine.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe we should upload your incident response plan as a resource as well. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, guys, that is it for this week's episode of UnHacked. I think we have beat this horse clear to death. And next week, don't tune out because next week we're going to start making this thing really sing and dance. Go to unhackmybusiness.com. That will soon be redirected to the new portal that I'm building. For now, it still goes to my own company website that doesn't have as many resources as I wish it did. But still, go there. Check us out. All the episodes are there. And with that, guys, we're going to sign off. Final goodbyes. And before I let you guys say your goodbyes, I'm just going to say again, thank you so much for being here, for bringing your time, your brilliance, your experience, because the number one benefit for me being on this podcast is that I get to learn from the brilliant minds out there. You guys are part of that. Brian, go ahead and say your goodbye. Then Josh, then Mario, then we're going to wrap.
Thank you very much, Justin. Likewise, back to you. My name is Brian Lashford with B4 Networks. If you are trying to improve your technology, your use of AI, your use of automation in your business, give us a call. We'll help you in your journey and make you 1% better every day.
Thank you. And I'm Joshua Holloway with Seventh AI Technologies, and we're here to help you with your compliance and technology needs and trying to get AI to fit in there too. So if you're looking for help there, Seventh AI Technologies help you out.
Mario.
Mario Zaki is CEO of Mastech. Like I've said before, we specialize in helping business owners have peace of mind. We will be there for you every step of the way, making sure that your company is there in the morning when you wake up, and we'll protect them from those Russian hackers, Chinese hackers, and all those other guys.
I
that,
wanted to make sure that was coming.
Yeah,
I left them out this week. They got a pass. I'm pissed at all of them.
They're too busy coding.
Yeah.
But just like everybody said, we're here to help you guys with any stuff that you guys need, both technology, help desk, IT, anything you need, AI included. We're here.
And I just gonna pause to say, Mario, you've got the best name of everybody here, because I'm like, Brian, your turn. Josh, your turn. Now it's my turn. I'm Justin, but I can go Mario. I can't do that with anybody else's name. So, all right, guys, I am Justin. Remember, listen and take action, and keep your businesses unhacked.
Better. We're getting better.
Yeah, kind of.